Okay, today's video we're going to talk about how one single word, NEW, can triple the ROI of your Facebook campaigns that you have running or would like to run and give another shot at. The reason why the word new works, just to give you a quick prelude of what this strategy I'm going to share to you on this video is about, is making what you have on Facebook to promote look more like content that people want to see on Facebook. The issue where a lot of people go wrong is you got an ad, people are trained to skip over ads when they see them on their Facebook newsfeed. Stuff that doesn't look so much like an ad gets noticed more, therefore it works more. And the trick is to weave together information and commercial offers together enough to where what you show can get noticed and read, and then also considered at the same time, instead of going after people strictly with a product and them ignoring your ad altogether, because the user's mind is trained to ignore advertisements as a whole, as people are bombarded with advertising every day. Saying something that's new implies that this is something that's not a commercial offer when it's tied together with and applied with some other changes with your ad, which I'm going to discuss, but makes it kind of in short, look like a news story or something that somebody shared with them on Facebook that's new to them. So it catches the user's eye and then sets you up for a much higher level of ROI from your ads for what you can do once you've got that user's attention. So anyway, I'm going to go through all of that on today's video. I'm going to give you the working strategy. I'm going to tell you about actual use cases where I used the word new and did what I am going to explain to you, how this strategy using new works, how to apply it for your campaigns, and of course have everything ready to go to apply this to your own campaigns after this video. So with it, now we'll go right to the content. Most people don't realize how to get Facebook ads to work really well for them because they make their ads look too much like ads, okay? But yes, Corey, it's an ad. How the hell am I going to make an ad not look like an ad? This is actually pretty simple. It just goes to how you word things and how you kind of structured things. A good Facebook ad looks like something the user was lucky to find. They stumbled upon it and they say, wow. And part of that can obviously go with the targeting that you have. You may have a good product or service that's amazing for a certain subsegment of people. And if you narrow down your advertising enough, the product itself or the service itself that you're offering can by itself seem amazing in itself. Therefore, you're going to get a higher response rate on your ad. A higher response rate on your ad, i.e. click-through, means higher ROI. But even if you don't have an amazing product, you could turn it into an amazing product by weaving it in with information that makes it seem like a new hot thing, which is where the word new actually comes in, and I'm going to talk about in this video. One place where you've seen people do this itself, but probably haven't really considered about it in terms of your Facebook campaigns, is like on Taboola. And if you don't know what a Taboola ad is, Taboola ads are the ads, like if you go to CNN.com, you read the article down, there'll usually be 2 rows of pictures with headlines next to it, and it'll be like, one trick to melt body fat off your body. And then another ad will be like, electric companies hate him for, applying that this product will save energy or whatever. And granted, a lot of them are scams, okay? But the idea that these marketers are using is actually gold. They're taking a piece of crap that they're selling and turning it into gold. And so it's good to look at what they're doing. We'll just say, how are they taking such a shit product and making money from it by using paid advertising? What do they know that we don't know what can apply to our own stuff and make our product, which actually is decent, actually make as much or more money because it's decent? And so with that, saying the fact that they had this special insider information that they could offer up front gets the user's attention, and once you got the user's attention, then you can make the sale. But if you just went for the sale right away, you're not going to get the user's attention enough, bottom line, to make the campaign profitable. And that's what this is all about. You could take your existing ad you have now and by just adding the word new in front of it, you could likely double the CTR and profit you're going to get from your ad as is. As I said before, the click-through rate, the higher the click-through rate on your ad, which you probably don't know which you probably know by now, but if you don't, the higher the click-through rate on the ad, the cheaper cost per visit to your site. It's the same visitors, so essentially you're just going to make more money because you're getting more visitors for the same money spent on ads. And so, to give you an example of this real quick, let's say you were selling, because there's a product called, that's for people that are generally older, that it's called burial insurance. Essentially, if you buy this insurance product, when you die, your loved ones won't have to worry about paying for any of your burial stuff. They'll cover the whole thing, basically. I won't get into the details of what it covers and what it doesn't cover, but essentially that's the general idea, okay? And so there's people out there, essentially it's just insurance agents selling this as well, as it's just another insurance product. I bet it's a little bit different one. With that said, they'll run an ad, and this is an actual case study where we work with somebody, and this being what I'm telling you here is a go-to that I'm going to go to right away because it's so easy to do if somebody isn't using this angle of transforming their offer into something that looks like interesting to look at, because it's, what do they know that I don't know is what we want the user to be thinking. Their headline before was funeral burial insurance program, so it gets straight to the point. Most people think with their advertising, display advertising as a whole, maybe if they're running Google Display Network or not, we're talking about Facebook ads here. They think the idea is you put your product there, make it clear what it is, and so the people who want it will click, and the people who don't want it won't click. Well, the reality is the people who would buy it won't click on it because they're trained to ignore ads. As they see an ad, they're trained to just skip over it without registering what it is. Oh, they're trying to sell me something? I'll block it out. It's similar to how, like, if you walk into a store and the salesperson comes to you and they say, hey, how can I help you, sir? Or how can I help you, ma'am? And you say, sorry, I'm just looking. You're trained, even though you're looking for something, to not ask. And respectively, this is where the word banner blindness comes in, which is a more relevant kind of antidote to what I'm talking about here. Banner blindness exists because people are hit with so many ads all the time that when they see an ad, their mind is trained to not even read what's on there, because if you read every single ad you came across, you would drain all your energy just reading ads throughout the day. So they don't even give your ad a chance to be read if they see it's an ad. So the whole thought that everybody's going to read my ad, and then if they want it, they'll click through, and if they don't, they won't click through, is BS, because if it looks like an ad, they won't even read the headline. Okay? Your trick is to make them think it's not an ad. It's similar to, there's a guy also called Gary Halbert, which is the best copywriter ever, in my opinion still. A lot of people agree with that. Who said when they would do direct mail advertising and sending stuff out through the mail, people have an A pile and a B pile. The A pile is what people consider when they get mail in the mail, and we're talking about the U.S. here. So all the advertisements and flyers and whatnot goes into A pile. All the stuff that is from your friends and your grandma or whatever goes into the B pile. And they stand over, they get their mail out of their mailbox, they go to the garbage can, and they sit there and they go through the pile, and if it's A into the advertisements pile, garbage. So this is a newspaper or a flyer trying to sell me stuff, garbage. Here's a letter from some place trying to sell me a vacation package, garbage. And then they get down to just the stuff that's not advertisements, and then they just read those. So all that money spent for these companies to send that person all that stuff, 95% of it's waste, because the average person doesn't even read what's on there, period. And so what Gary Halbert basically then, just to finish up this, the deal with him, he just realized that you could get through that filter just by making your direct mail piece that goes out to people's mail in their mailbox look like something it came from somebody that they care about to actually read. And then once you get them into the process of reading it, now you've got their attention, and because they've already started reading it and they want to, oh, I've already read it this far, I might as well read it the rest of the way, they could skyrocket the ROI that you're going to get on any given direct mail campaign by doing that general strategy, which is how you are going to want to set up your Facebook ads to skyrocket your profits there. So in this case, and because this video is about the word new, you can just simply take the word new and add that to the beginning of your headline, most of you guys and most of the time, and almost double the CTR on your ad, just that one thing alone. And that's what we did here. New funeral burial insurance programs. You could put the word in parentheses. Sometimes that works even better, as I found. So it's like funeral burial insurance programs. Okay, I don't want that, but new. Okay, what's new about it? I've never heard of this. Which that's not that significant of a change. But I can guarantee you, most of you guys, you put new on your headline in front of it, put it in parentheses like that, you'll get a raise in click-through rate, because people want to know what's the new thing. And because ultimately they're on Facebook as well to get new information. They're not there to read about the 15,000th person who wants to sell them crap. And so even though you're not what you have is not new, just having the basically the word there, if you want to do it, will do good. But generally speaking, that's only taking it part of the way here in terms of what you can do with this whole concept of new or seeming new. Going the rest of the way, you can make the rest of your ad look like a news story, and you follow through with that, your landing page you're using. You can double your CTR again on top of what you can do just using the word new. Or in general, if you didn't get the doubling with the word new on your ad by itself, go ahead and transform the headline and the messaging you're using to not just say new, but go a little bit further, trying to convince the user essentially that it is new. And to go back to our original example, funeral burial insurance programs, instead of new funeral burial insurance programs, try new funeral insurance programs for seniors 65 plus, which worked even better. Okay, I generally, by the way, just try to, even though the new by itself isn't going to get us the most gain, why not give it a shot and just test that as well? But you can see why there's a huge difference in return going from funeral burial insurance programs to new funeral insurance programs. I didn't say burial anymore, I cut that word out because we want to mystify what it is that's new to get the user to click through. They got to say, I got to know what's there. Once you get them to your page, and then they start reading a little bit, then they're more likely to hear your pitch after that and not bounce. New funeral insurance programs for seniors 65 plus. So with that, they think this is something that's the other people other than them that are 65 plus are doing and that are getting a big benefit of, and I want to know what that is too. So now you basically turn the tables on them. They went from, I don't want your piece of crap offer, to, oh, I need to find out what it is because I'm going to get something by reading this. So you actually actively switched it on them so they think of what reading your ad is a benefit instead of a loss. So I would recommend potentially just going straight to that right away. You can test it both ways, just with new, or just try to make it look, essentially what it is like a news story. You're advertising a news story. You talk about the results, or you just talk about this product that's supposedly new that people are using and getting a great benefit from. And I'll go through a few other examples here so you know what I mean here. But essentially, this works in basically any market out there. You frame what you have in a light that this is something that other people are using. You haven't caught on to it yet, but you should know. Certainly, you should know what these people are doing, and we're going to be so kindly to give you this information. And so instead of having just a plain commercial offer, going back to what I said before, what people are going to mostly ignore as soon as they know it's an ad, they're going to want to read into, because they want to know, they're on Facebook to find out new information. And this is something that, you know, you're speaking to me, a 65 plus senior. I need to know this information, what other people that are 65 plus are doing, and get into that whole frame of mind for the user to have more people actually getting to the point where they're saying yes or no to your offer, versus what you think, you thought they were doing that initially, but really 90% of people were just not reading your ad at all, and you never had the chance to actually sell to them. So anyway, other markets where we've done this, a variation of this, to take a plain Jane commercial offer and then switching it up: insurance, investments, weight loss programs, home services, local products. And I'm going to give you the example of where we used, what we used for each one of these, so you can see kind of in your market how to tie this into with your company to get this big jump in your click-through rate and therefore your profit from your Facebook ads, or just to get your ads to work if they weren't working for you before. In some of these cases, nothing would work. We came in and we did what I told them to do, and we got a campaign that would work on Facebook. So in a lot of cases, that's what can happen for you guys, because just saying I have this blender, do you want to buy it or not, on Facebook, it's really lame. It's really hard to get that to work. But if you could talk about, see the new blender that millennial moms are using, that's changing the game, You've tricked them to basically having to figure out exactly everything about that blender you have, because they don't want to be left out of the crowd, or basically just left out in general. So anyway, in the insurance, I already told you what specifically we did here. So this worked rather well. Okay, we're getting leads for $10 or so each already in this space doing this. So you want to use something that works in that space, go ahead and steal basically, okay? Gave you a free ad. You want to do that, selling burial insurance, you can get pretty good commissions from that. If you need a business idea, your business to start, and you like sales, and you want to sell something, consider using this model here. You got to send them to a landing page with that, which I didn't touch on yet, but I'll fill you the kind of the gaps there. So new funeral insurance programs for seniors 65 plus. You got their attention now. They need to go find out. You don't go right into a commercial offer. You go into, on the top of your landing page, you don't put anything there that's going to make them think that you're selling something yet, including not putting your logo even on the top of the page. Just start having what looks like an article that talks about what these other seniors 65 plus are doing. How, but you could start with a story like, ultimately, people that are, funeral costs are going up. There's a lot of people who didn't, have, recently passed away, and basically their loved ones were in a sticky situation. Given that funerals cost $3,000-$4,000 nowadays, they were in a situation where they didn't know what to do, and therefore this burial insurance program came out to help people like them and fix this entire situation. And there's getting to be more people every year, whereas there was a few people to start. This program's exploded, and now basically 20% of all seniors already are doing this, and this is slowly becoming the norm. And then get into, a quote by the, owner of the funeral insurance, the burial funeral insurance program that you're promoting or that you own. Burial funeral insurance is great because we sell a great burial funeral insurance plan that's actually better than basically, or if you want to, not even talk about that there's anything else out there that exists. Burial insurance is a great product to have. Ultimately, our company sells that burial insurance, and then it should almost, though, we can keep going and get into the actual nuts and bolts of that program and selling it to them. They get to the end of the page, they click a link, and then that's when they go to the actual sales page or a page where you're going to get their lead information from. The whole page you send them to is like an article. It's going to read like an article. It's going to seem like an article. They're not going to think you're selling to them outright there. All that article does is gets them informed about what this product is, what it does, why you need it, what's the issues with if you don't use it, what's going to happen to you potentially or whatever. And so with that, they kind of thought, if you do it right, that they didn't even find a sales pitch that came out by you. They just thought they found an article that came out by you. What a lot of people have done in this situation, by the way, is they'll set up a separate website that's not attached to their real existing business. And that second website's set up to be what looks like a news site, so you can create an article like that so to have people sent to. So if they go to other pages on that site, it just looks like a regular news site. And what I've seen people do before is if you click to go to like the home page, it says site under construction, so you don't really need a whole site. You can have one page that just looks like an article. But that's the general idea there. Okay, so respectively, and of course, once they get to the page and they read that whole article, you can remarket to them the actual offer then. That generally, at that stage, even though a lot of people ignore ads, like I said, it's still enough to where the few that do recognize it, the demand for that product is high enough now that it will be profitable to go directly at them with the offer itself. That is something we did, just like I basically laid out for you there, is what we did for in the funeral insurance space. Okay, basically the exact model. So, but you don't have to use that exact model. There's some different variants of ways to do this as well. In the investment space, in the retirement investment space, we're talking about like self-directed IRAs and stuff like that. We would help the client that did the self-directed IRA, and with that, we talk about, see the person who saved over, $2 million in gold, and just by having doing a self-directed IRA, and then they're thinking, well, what the hell is a self-directed IRA, and how do they get gold with it? And then you get into the article that gets into, and it tells the guy a story of how this guy did it, and some quotes by the guy, and then they talk about how I learned about how to do this, and then ultimately a link to the website where they help people, the client, where they're actually helping people get self-directed IRAs. To do a gold IRA, there's also different types of self-directed IRAs where you can hold basically your own money instead of giving it to an investment firm that you may or may not trust. You can actually invest what you want to, and it can be gold that you actually hold in a safe in your own house, so that you don't have to pay taxes on your retirement funds still, but you hold physically the assets of your investment itself, and somebody else doesn't hold it, and you can invest in anything you want. Technically, it doesn't have to be gold. You want to invest in platinum, you can invest in platinum, whatever you think is going to go up in value, and it can be something that you hold on to or somebody else holds on to, but you direct where it goes versus using the traditional IRA investment, like into a fund, stock fund or whatever, bond fund. So anyway, that's what we did there. Now that's very, very similar to the insurance, the burial insurance one. In the weight loss space, we had a weight loss program. What I knew is on Facebook, people like to see what's going on local. So if you can take advantage of the fact that you can say new, this thing is new and it's local, and it's new locally specifically, you'll get a much even higher response doing this general angle of trying to advertise something, a piece of information that they need to know that's going on for people, that affects people just like them. And so we said, basically, a new weight loss program in LA County gets people to lose all this weight without having to, you know, starve themselves, whatever. And that's the general angle that we use there. Okay, so within that, okay, we can send them to a place where a group where people can congregate about that kind of stuff, which once they're there, they kind of sell themselves. But if they would have saw, you know, joining the weight loss group, they wouldn't do it because it looks like a pit. You're coming off too desperate. Them seeing that this looks like just a news article that's being advertised, you could send them directly to a created article, like I kind of laid out for you, where it goes into what is this craze, and then gets quotes from the owner, and then, you know, what the person of the owner of the company that's being quoted about his product or service or whatever. You could send them directly to a group. That's another option you could do, and like we did in that particular case. So that was profitable. The home services space, okay? Now, another angle that you can go about doing what I'm talking about here to craft or shift what you're doing to look like to go from a boring offer to something that's really, really in demand in terms of what, you know, hidden information that could benefit that person if they only got it, is we had a home services company who had so if you can take a local event or event that's going on in this specific time frame, which in this particular case, inflation's a problem right now at this particular time, 2022. So the person said, you know, basically, and I'm going to give the exact niche out here because I'm going to give my client's campaign away, but due to inflation, you know, local foundation repair company helps people get the service they want without all the cost. Okay? Ultimately, it wasn't foundation repair. It's a home service that people need at some time or another. Okay? We'll just put it that way. So these people, in other words, they are in a situation where they may not be able to afford. Now they see, oh wait, there's some company actually offering some kind of relief due to inflation. I want to read about that company. So again, we're not doing it as if we're talking about ourselves here. We're looking as if this is a third party covering us. Again here still. Okay, with that, we sent them to a landing page, which wasn't an article this time. It was just it went directly to a page that was a pitch by that particular home services company, and had a video on there the owner talking about how the people that, you know, due to the inflation, you know, we have some special program where we're able to, not for every single customer, but for some customer, offer what we're offering way cheaper than what our competitors offer, because we've worked with manufacturers that we work with, the materials that you need to do, that we need to be able to do this repair on your home that you're going to need. And so with that, you know, basically, if you were to, again, just go directly at them, foundation repair, I don't, you know, basically need that right now. But I'm going to need, and if I need foundation repair sometime soon, that article can pull people in at a much greater rate. And they'll be interested in just how this company is able to offer such cheaper services, or why they're even doing it for people because of inflation. Are they good Samaritans? What are they? And so you'll get a massive click-through rate on that ad like this person did, and a decent conversion rate to a lead, because now also that, you know, they also said on this video that this is, at least for now, this is what we're doing. So with the understanding that we're not going to, or presumably that we're not going to be doing this forever. So I better jump on it. So I went from not wanting to actually contact anybody about this, you know, service that I'm going to need soon, to I'm interested on why this company's offering such cheap prices and nobody else gives a damn if their prices are going up. They just jack their prices up, those, you know, asshats, to, oh, that's cool that you guys are doing that. And yeah, I'll contact you right now. I don't need it for a while, but maybe I will do it now because, you know, you guys are doing a good thing. I realize you might not be able to do this forever because you're working with outside, you know, parts the manufacturer of the part, so maybe I will do it now. So you can see how you took somebody that doesn't even have the demand or need what you have now, and you could turn them into customers through this method. And it wouldn't work if you just went at them trying to offer the thing by itself. And another example, local products. Okay, so in this particular case, we were able to take a product which, okay, sometimes your product is, if you can't think of an interesting angle to take a current event or what's going on at the time and build that into essentially your offer, like I told you about, like the home service company I was talking about, or you can actually take the user's results or what your guys are doing and work that into an article to tell a story about somebody who you work with that got the results and why people should actually use that and how it's really helping them. Another angle that you can do is to kind of as a variation of the inflation, the relief from the special relief from inflation that this company was offering, which is set up like a news story that turned into a sort of a pitch once they got their attention already and they got them to the landing page. You could run a contest or whatever, like this company did at a furniture store, essentially, where they basically local furniture store gives away new mattresses to those who win or are able to win this game. And so this was something that I actually suggested to the person. I said, your Facebook ads aren't working, you can't get them to work. Well, it's really hard to get, as a local furniture store, what are you going to run as far as an ad to get somebody into the store if they don't need a couch or a bed right now? And so with that, they came up with a game, essentially. You could think of when I say game, like an action game, like you need to shoot basketballs into this hoop or whatever. But the general deal was that if you came in and you won this game, you would get a free mattress. But what the hell, and they had to give away some mattresses, but for the most part, like you go to a carnival, the games are hard. It's not like everybody wins. The games, as you went to as a kid, the carnival, they'd have these one games, they had these gigantic, stuffed animals. But only one in 500 people would win that game. Everybody thinks that they're going to be the one that wins, which is why they get people's money and get them to try, which it's sort of, you can think what you want about that. But in this particular case, it got a whole shit ton of people to the store to try this game. And of course, it's all people who need a mattress, because otherwise I wouldn't probably go to the store and try for a free mattress. Of course, I might get it and try to sell it or whatever, but for the most part, these are more than half of the people legitimately did it because they probably needed a mattress soon, and they could, while they're at the store, they can look at other mattresses, which is the main benefit to us, but also, of course, that they do need a mattress even though they weren't looking to legitimately buy one, and in which they can be now having sold one potentially by a salesperson at the store. Any place that has active salesperson, as long as you get foot traffic in, that's all you need, as they will tell you. All you need is foot traffic. I can sell, 5% of these people a mattress. Just get me people in the store that are willing to talk to me, and we'll sell. And that's the way that it is in that business. The car dealership business, it's the same. And I'm sure it's tons of other markets that I can't think of, but in that case, they got a whole bunch of people into the store. And it was more of a two-step approach where, of course, the first step is just to get them to come in to play the game. The other step is you got to actually sell them when they're in the store. But just going at them from the angle, to get them to come in for a mattress by offering a special or whatever, offering 10% off everything at store, it's not really that much of a pull for people on Facebook. But now we could frame the game, not only just that we're offering these, but we're framing it as a news story. So it looks like a news outlet covered, if on first glance, if looking at that ad, is covering this wild thing where they're giving away all these so-called mattresses, and can show a picture of the people playing the game, which looks again, it looked like a news story. They click on it, then you could take them, in which we did in this case, take them to a landing page that talks about how people, showing people that are playing this game and how it actually works and how you're going to get the mattress and all that stuff to get them excited about it. And then at the bottom of the page there's just the address. If you're interested in trying your luck out, come in, here's the place. And that's all they did. You could try something similar for your business if you're a local business and probably get similar results. Obviously, you just got to be able to sell. People into the store with a crappy salesperson, this isn't going to work. Good salespeople, different story. The only one that I did not cover here was e-commerce companies. Just basically because I haven't gotten to using this strategy with a product company. Usually product companies were able to scale more so on Google than Facebook, but not always, particularly for more expensive products. But even with the more expensive products, generally speaking, because they're more expensive, we could spend more to get a sale. If we offer the product and should do a demo of the product, that generally works pretty good on its own anyway. We don't have to trick the user into reading more about our product and then offering the pitch. But certainly, I don't see any reason why it can't. Your product to sell a mattress. Going back to that, if you were selling, those like a Casper mattress, those mattresses that they mail out to you physically, how you could say users are getting, in latest study, people that are sleeping on this particular mattress are ending up with, this much percentage more, happiness during the day, and then figure out a way to come up with that, study or whatever you need to do, sending them to a landing page which has an article, and then basically once they read that, they're like, that's pretty interesting. That mattress is pretty cool. Then they'll buy it. Whereas if you just offered them the mattress, of course, they're not going to pay attention to the ad, generally speaking, and you can't sell. But again, with a mattress that's a few $100s, generally the 10% off, this week only, which is our standard way to go out doing that, that'll work because the mattress is more expensive. And for traditional products, that's what we're doing. And for cheaper products, maybe that's a way to get the ads to work, doing some sort of spin to the strategy I gave you here, maybe not. But I thought I would also include that as well. But that's the whole, new, using the word new strategy, what you can do to get your Facebook ROI up for yourself as a whole. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up, and so people other than you can also find this great information. It might help them out on their Facebook campaigns. If you like this video, I have a ton of other videos on this channel about other PPC strategies that will be able to help you make a ton more money with your PPC. If you're interested in that, you should definitely check my other videos out and as they come out. I have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog with step-by-step instructions on how to build PPC campaigns the way that we build them here for our clients at Guaranteed PPC to guarantee their results. So ultimately, you may want to check that out. There's some really great information there as well. If you're into that, you want to know kind of more on a step-by-step basis on how to build campaigns that work. I show you stuff that's working for our clients actively. You can do the same things we are. As is on these videos, everything I share with you on these rest of my videos are active strategies we're using for other clients, tested and vetted and delivered to you, packaged up in a video. And so with that, if you have any other questions about this content, leave me a comment down below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel. And I hope to see you in my next video where I come out with another great PPC strategy that can make you a lot of money. So see you later. Adios.